LGD's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Invoker.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Sand King.
Dire team pick. LGD's turn to pick.
Welcome everybody to your coverage of TI4. It's the grand final for China Division, and we are here, man, for our grand final. We're hoping for short, quick, and wonderful games, Lumi. That's what I'm hoping for.
60-minute 5 games. Down with that too?
You down with that?
Yeah.
I'm asking in for that today.
Okay.
I like to say some cuffs between the two teams. Either way, let's go straight to the draft.
10 seconds
It's already
remaining.
underway, and we've got the teams who are clearly the kings of the cuffs. SK as well as Light
5 seconds
Stealer.
remaining.
Get them towards front lines, get those combinations working, and get them ahead because
Reserve
LGD
time.
somehow this guy managed to slip through the pool, and Invoker is going to be the first pickup for them.
Yeah, Invoker actually has been slipping through the pool. I think I want to say 80 to 90% of the time because it seems like teams are a lot more scared for things like Batrider, Ancient Apparition, which surprises me greatly. Invoker often sleeps through, and sometimes they're not even picked 4th or 5th. LGD is the only team that I've recognized that first picks it, and they do it again. I gotta say though, I'm
10
not
seconds
a big fan of
remaining.
Lifestealer because he's a hero that we've seen a lot in 6.78,
5
and teams
seconds
have
remaining.
learned many ways to deal with him. I think, for example, picking Treant Protector to force
Reserve
him to,
time.
or just to trap him with Overgrowth is an excellent way to start with.
Yeah, I'm down with you, man. But then again, CIS, they seem to favor this hero beyond anything else, and when CIS draft, I'd say they wouldn't draft with him, they just draft to hit their comfort heroes before they get banned out.
Yeah.
Like, Lost Knights in the first half, they didn't want to give one over, but yeah. They have had something a bit more secret. Like, still has like his any mage you can play on top of the life stealer on top of everything else, so I'm glad
Dire team
we
ban.
can keep their cards a little bit more secretive. So LGD, they do have 2 stable hero pickers as well. So I'm pretty sure LGD coming into this going, okay,
turn to ban.
that's the trouble with these guys in the past and group stages. We decimated them during the winners bracket final. So let's just play our game in game number 1, get the first game advantage, and then just work it from there.
Yeah, I think something key that you brought up when we were sitting at the couch and
10
talking about it is that
remaining.
I think the two teams have different mentality, judging from the way that they draft and they play.
5 seconds
LGD here,
remaining.
they're here to win the cold down day. I feel like CIS is like,
Reserve time.
maybe they're satisfied already being number 2. Like they're coming in here, maybe it's like, okay, if we take a game off LGD, that'll be nice. If we win the whole thing, that'll be
Dire
nice.
team
But
ban.
I think they're gonna be taking less risk, if that makes sense. They're gonna just go for the safe play. Whereas LGD know that they're gonna be the better team. They are the better team, and then they're gonna just do whatever they want to do.
Yeah,
That's just personally how I read it. But you know, obviously we're just judging from thousands of miles away. So
yeah, you're right. Like it's when you
team
try and
pick.
cast a LAN event from online, it just doesn't make it feel right. But you are right in a way. But I think CIS are also like they're like the two-headed kind of beast in this one. It's like you put a soldier on the front lines, and then like either you have this like you take away like thinking you're ever going to live again. So it's like, well, okay, I'm either going to go out there and I'm going to kill everyone I could possibly see, or I'm going to cower in fear. And CIS, like, if they end up being the ones that go, well, we have nothing to lose, let's just go out there and start beating down LGD. We're the underdogs. Hey, we're already going to TI4. We'll deal with that pre-qualifier tournament when it arrives. For now, if we can beat LGD, we play our cards, we play our comfortable cards, we try and play the perfect style that we want to play and see if it works LGD. If it does and they win this best of 5, they save themselves a lot of trouble and they go directly into the main competition. So they're the ones with nothing to lose. LGD are the ones with something to lose here.
When you say it like that, yeah, I could see that CIS is going to be playing a lot more aggressive than they have been, especially against DT. Perhaps it's also a matchup. Maybe against DT they want to take it late, whereas LGD is a lot more versatile. We saw them going for like 25-minute game-ending pushes featuring Invoker, Pugna, as well as a Dragonite. So I like the fact they draft Invoker early because it doesn't limit their playstyle. If you want to play aggressive and early, he gives you that. If you want to kind of take it to the late game, he's an excellent Hex carrier, gives you a lot of team fight control. But right now, it's actually CIS that's going to be taking control of the early game. This reminds me of TI3 final drafts. Lifestealers, Nature's Prophet. The only thing that looks a little bit odd is Sand King, but obviously we've seen what Sand King have done lately.
This is what CIS did during the group stage. Like it's the ability to take Lifestealer anywhere, and for LGD not to be able to predict where he's actually bombing from. So Nature's Prophet can TP with the Lifestealer Infested, SK can blink Burrow Strike, and send it with the Lifestealer inside as well. What I like about like everything like CIS, okay, we've got the ability to move and gank around the entire map. But LGD's lanes are just so damn good. Like you're getting a Rubik now, that's not even what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking like LGD, when they've been playing the Invoker as an offlane hero, when you add Living Armor to this guy with high levels up in Quas, you could just be finding an Invoker offlane. And that's where LGD, they're playing almost, I don't want to say they're playing like EG, where like you run this heavy 3 core strat, but they're capable of doing so with the way they've been drafting their lanes.
All right, we're going to see Wind Ranger being picked up here. Could be that secondary support. The Chinese teams in history favors Wind Ranger support quite a bit because she's a range hero as a support that could harass quite well, could run away from trouble if need be. But obviously, solo mid Wind Ranger is a thing as well. We might even see Nature's Prophet going mid and allowing Wind Ranger on that kind of traditional offlane. Who knows for CIS?
10 seconds remaining.
Well, we will find out in a moment though. Just a reminder, everyone who is tuning in, if you're not watching this stream right here, you can be watching the Social Hub as well. Of course, stay on this live stream. Why do you want to watch the Social Hub when you got us giving you real commentary?
As opposed to the fake commentary.
Yeah, everyone's sitting up there going, let's answer some questions. So, Shiva, why do you like Admiral Bulldog?
Those are hard-hitting questions.
That was 5 minutes of our morning, man. Someone asked the question, who are your 3 most favorite players? And Shiva's just like, I like all offlane players. It's like, ooh.
But not Admiral Bulldog.
Well, it's all offlane players. He's an offlane player.
But he didn't name Admiral Bulldog. He named EGM from the same team.
Yep.
But not Admiral Bulldog.
Yep.
There you go.
I just want to know who was the first girl that EGM stole away from Admiral Bulldog.
10 seconds remaining.
After his tweet today. But the scandal, we leave that on the sidelines. LG, they've got the Doombringer now. So, Lifestealer, there's going to be no feasting during the team fights. Yes. Wind Ranger as well, I'm also insanely concerned about her because her escape mechanism, countered by telekinesis drag back. And then you got like Tree with a follow-up Leech Seed. She's going to have a real hard time if they want to put that Wind Ranger towards an off-lane or any kind of core role. She's just going to get locked down.
I think when Lifestealer was very successful back in 2-3 patches ago, what he was really strong at is to stick on a target, kill him quick, and move on next. And I think against this particular LG lineup, that's going to be difficult because obviously Treant Protector is going to slow your killing potential by using things like Living Armor, Overgrowth on top of that. And then you have Doom and Invoker, 2 cores that are going to be very, very difficult to kill. I imagine Doom's going to go for either early mech or early Vlads. Any form of like early plus armor for himself and for his team, that's going to give him a lot more survivability against Lifestealer. And Invoker Jungle will stay so far back that he shouldn't be in trouble anyways. I feel like this Wind Ranger really has to do a lot in terms of keeping people locked down because with things like Scourger, Invoker with his movement speed, I feel like they could just dance around this Invoker, or sorry, dance around this Lifestealer. And the other thing is, how are you going to deal with the Overgrowth? Normally you say, yeah, I could rage out of the Overgrowth, but if you see how Lifestealer play, he open wounds, he walks up to you, press rage, and attacks. Easy Overgrowth for Treant Protector. So I'm going to see OD as the last pickup. So Wind Ranger is going to be that support. OD should dominate against Doom or Invoker on the laning stage, which is good. But again, where's the damage really coming from? How are they actually going to kill Invoker, Doom, and the last core for LGD Gaming?
Yeah. I'm not sure, man. And I still want to see LGD picking up a different call for the mid to go up against the OD. Push that Invoker towards the off lane, leave the Doombringer on the safe lane.
Or Doom could go off lane and Invoker safe. That's definitely the option as well.
Either way, because CIS don't really have enough early pressure, because that is obviously a support Wind Ranger. Latching those very early shackles. Actually, who was it? Someone on the couch yesterday was talking about this, about like why Wind Ranger's not being picked up much anymore. And was it you or was it, it might have been Wager or Draskell?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
Yeah.
Well, the main thing that was brought up was the fact that Wind Ranger's not played as much anymore because the way the shackle was reworked, you spend most of your time just trying to reposition during a team fight to get a good shackle off. So unless you got Blink as well as Force Staff, you lose time at the early points of the team fight just trying to reposition yourself.
I mean, I also think a big part of it is how, as we see Weaver as the last pickup, so that'd be the off lane. Going back to Wind Ranger so fast, or not playing her like how people play Mirana. Just for a moment, think about how she compares to Mirana. Mirana has the arrow, right?
Yep.
A lot of times Mirana missed that arrow in a fight. That's okay. She's not a hero that, in a sense that if she doesn't hit the arrow, she becomes useless. Right? Waga says, if you don't hit the shackle shot, Wind Runner becomes useless. I think that's kind of what he said. If you hit a two-man shackle, that's excellent. If you hit a one-man shackle, that's like okay. If you miss your shackle, that's a useless hero. That's what Waga said. And I don't think I agree with that sentiment. If Mirana missed her arrow, she's so DPS. But if you think about how people are playing Wind Ranger, they build things like Force Staff or Mech. Whereas you never really see Force Staff or Mech on what do you call it, Mirana. And I just feel that Wind Runner has the same DPS potential with things like Acceptor, Milner, and even a Hex. I just don't think that people and teams are building her that way. So you never really see her carrying the same way that Mirana does. So perhaps it's an unfair comparison. Obviously, it's all very trend-based, so we might not ever see that kind of carry build. But
yeah, there's only like one team in the entire world that I know that still does that kind of thing, and that's Na'Vi.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's one of the Denny's favorite heroes as far as playing him. Let's actually check out our lanes for LGD. It's going to be Lin heading up towards that top lane as the Weaver. The middle lane will in fact be Yao. Going to go a what I assume to be Quast Wex with Phase Boots first build. I'm also hoping Lumi, you can get yourself back inside the game.
Yeah, I'll cast off of your...
Did it actually drop you completely? You'll get yourself in. DDC will be the Rubik, and DD will be as the Treant Protector, which gives your safe lane Rabbit Doombringer. He will be going up against what appears to be an aggro tri-lane at the moment. Nature's Prophet still hasn't decided where he's going, but he's got Boots first, as well as having Clarity, as well as Tango. But Demons, okay, they are going to move June north. So safe lane, easy lane, farming up Lifestealer.
Nothing out of the ordinary, it seems.
No, everything looks to be standard. We wouldn't really expect anything else from game number one of like a best of 5. As we said during the drafting stage, all you really want to do is just get that one game advantage. If you're able to achieve that, then you can be a little bit more flexible. The pressure comes off you a little bit here in the best of 5. Only a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit.
It seems like, I'm not sure whether you covered it because I was trying to rescue my computer, but it's going to be a Doom versus a Prophet safe lane. Yeah. Which, actually, I think it favors Nature's Prophet quite a bit, because Doom, sure, he's going to get farmed, but he's also going to get harassed quite a bit. Obviously, he has his pull blocked off, but there is living armor coming from top.
Yeah, it's just if you can find himself a creep, because right now with this Treant sitting here, he's only get one camp to spawn up. And it's actually going to be a one wing. So
that's a really good one.
So he gets his armor and he gets his DD rune. That's nice for him. A little bit of harassment to Lin on the top lane. They know they can't kill him off, but hello.
As indeed.
Invoker gets the first blood of middle lane. Sorry, I wasn't watching for the smoke gank.
Yeah, I'm not sure they even smoked. They kind of just walked in there with Leech Seed and Lift and a couple of right clicks. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, that's a surprising first blood, and definitely not something CIS want to have happen. Now Black is so far behind as the OD, having to walk himself back out towards that middle lane. It's a good thing for him he wasn't actually trying to get to his early bottle. I'm a little bit concerned for your computer right now.
It's just dead.
Hey, prefer not to. Yeah. Shout out to the guys in the chat, yes. First blood miss, man. That's the second time. I feel slightly...
Step it up, Toby.
I feel nerfed. I feel nerfed. This support combo that got the gank in the middle, though, instantly comes up towards the top lane. So it's actually going to turn this LGD lane into a tri-lane.
Denied.
I'm still watching. It doesn't help that I'm not listening to any words you're saying because I'm just like...
Because you're too worried about your computer.
Yeah, it's fine. Alright, I'm back in the game. Should be guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Looks like we didn't miss much apart from the first blood, but I really like the fact that LGD is actually going for the offensive trialing because, first of all, Weaver versus Lifestealer, that's a great lane matchup. Weaver is going to be absolutely fine against a Lifestealer because you can always run away, open wound doesn't do anything to you, and you can see that...
Oh, they're going to pick him up and drag him back. With the lead seed as well, he has triggered off the rage.
I think they could chase this, and in fact they will. Here comes, the burrow strike should be there. They have a shackle shot to follow through. No, only a power shot just here. Lin not drawing the tower aggro, and that was good for him. Would have definitely been the death of him if he did draw the tower aggro. Demons dropping very low here. One more Fable would definitely be the death of him, but obviously cooldown and mana is a thing. Good trade though, I think it favors GD quite a bit because...
They're burning through the consumables right now of all of CIS. And I can't believe actually Windranger didn't get the shackle at level 1, because that would have been really big. Underneath the tower to latch him to a tree line there.
Well, you just don't expect a Weaver to make that kind of dive under the tower, right? So it does make sense for her to actually not skill it up. Because level 1 shackle shot is actually pretty lackluster, even if you do hit it. But yeah.
Would you still not wait until, like, you know, what you would want to pick up? Or is it just like, well, who cares? Like, power shot, range damage at the very, very start is what I want anyway.
I think generally, in most cases, you do want the power shot. It's just like, you know, in a trailing versus trailing, you want the nuke, not in... Like, for example, like Lion, for example, in a trailing versus trailing, you want the impale. For the possibility of damage and stun versus the hex.
Inflame's got to be a lot more careful on this bottom lane right now. Also, Rabbit, there we go, Devour. Inflame was just basically staying in very, very close to Rabbit here while he's walking around inside a Scorched Earth. So he's taking a lot of just harassment damage, not just from the Scorched Earth, but also from the right clicks of that Doombringer. And he just doesn't care on this bottom lane. Like, he's walking around now with 700 gold. But I can see what Inflame's trying to do. He's trying to make sure he stays in close enough to keep these last hits coming in and get the phase boots up and running. Yeah. Once he has that, then maybe he can push Doom out of the lane. But Doom, does something which I wasn't thinking he would do straight from the start. I thought would like go for like the start of the mech on the safe lane. He's actually going to run a bottle Doombringer on this bottom lane.
That's actually quite odd. I mean, he might actually go for some preference into level def, which is something that we don't see too often. At the same time, though, just maxing out Scourge is so good, and well, he is one of the more mana-intensive heroes. It might not seem like it, but especially if you're casting your spells from your neutral creep, it takes a ton of mana. And it will help him rune control, because obviously Invoker on the mid lane is not going to be grabbing too much rune, so he could check, and 50% of the time he's going to refill the bottle.
Yeah. Life just got a lot harder up on the top lane, because the Doombringer check for the Rebels, the DD up on top. So DDC is now moving up towards this top lane as a Rubik, and this is a Rubik with level 2 Fable, with the support of a tree as well as the hidden power of Lin. So if June does get even slightly caught out here, like this for example, picked up, throwing back, even if he rages, the DPS almost is enough. There's a bug on the back of him, but they're not diving in any deeper. So 66 life points and this life steal is able to walk back, but he's got to go all the way back to base now. There's no other choice for him. And DD, he wants to dive behind. Now creep wave coming in. The DD is still up. It will actually now wear off though, as Demons hides inside of his own Sandstorm. And that's probably the only major fault of this lineup of LGD on the top lane. They don't have a straight-up stun to get him out. They've got the telekinesis pick up into AoE stun, which can drag him out, but it's very obvious when it's coming.
On the bottom lane here, we do see Inflame actually going for the kill on Xiao Tuji, but he does have the bottle coming back in. He should be fine. The Wrath will hit, but he has a bottle.
He's also got the Frost Armor creep.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely fine. The thing that scares me is how we're doing on the mid lane here, because Black on a OD should dominate Yao, and in fact he is doing that. But you know, let's not forget about that first Black gank. So he's not doing as well as he could be.
Yao would actually hold up more control over on Black.
He does 10 deny. Like that's actually pretty impressive to keep up with deny against an OD like that.
They're coming in. Black's too far up. He can't imprison himself out this one. He's going to try and run out, but the Cold Snap picks him up. Then the Leech Seed follow up. So even if he tries to run away, it's already too slow. And Rubik just secures the last hit in with the Fade Bolt. So LGD are now 2 for 0 with Black being both the casualties on CIS's side.
Yeah, normally you say, well, you know, you have a ward protecting yourself, and even if you expect a smoke coming, you should acknowledge that, but I think that's more because the top Charlie is playing very well. They were able to pressure back the life stealer, they were able to pressure back the supports, and then they disappear in jungle. You don't know if they're doing a pull, you don't know if they're ganking mid, and because they reacted so quickly, Black was caught out, and yeah, I think that's really the trialing for LGD right now that's winning very hard. And your mid lane that's supposed to be losing, he's doing okay. Your bottom lane is trading evenly, and Doom's one of those heroes that farms so quickly anyways. I think LGD is exactly where they want to be.
Invis room from DDC just lets him set up perfectly. Into the lead, see both strikes on the way. OD and Prisma's going to try and buy that space, in fact, and they won this last hit. They're a Fade bot, there's not enough mana, he's short by 15. Now the Prophet ulti bounces through, so the Tree Protector will go down and Yal. Held inside the trees, OD will throw the ulti out just to ensure there's enough damage with his last right click. And that means that there's a nice counter gank here from CIS.
Yeah, and you do see the power of those stuns coming in early from CIS. Burrow Strike, over 2 seconds of stun time, and of course the Wind Ranger, if you do hit that shackle on 2 heroes, that is 3 seconds of chain stun if you count that like that. And they did. So it was a shackle from, I think, Invoker onto the Treant, double kill onto those heroes. And that's just a level 1 shackle. So I think we're going to see more of Wind, or I hope we see more of Wind Ranger, because she is, in my opinion, very undervalued, very powerful hero.
Maybe we should ask around a couple of the other pro players, see the reason why they don't play him. June got a little bit more space up on this top lane, but again, this continues to happen. The bugs are on him, so we already start adding in the negative armor. DDC, he does have Fade bot available. When the Rage wears off, a boom in, and then Chikuchi damage. He needs a Geminate attack to fly out here, and maybe that's enough. Sunstrike's on the way in, but the Geminate's enough to finish the job before Invoker tries to get the snipe.
Yep, and now Lin hits level 6, so he's really unkillable at this point. Unless he doesn't have mana, obviously, for his time lapse. But I don't think the Suns here for CIS should catch him out. Obviously, there is Shackle and Burrow Strike, so he should still be somewhat careful. But I think he's having just an absolutely fantastic time. And mid, getting somewhat pressure despite having, getting the couple kills. We're going to see multiple gank parties continue to check for runes, continue
coming bottom lane. Burrow Strike into Doombringer. It's about time they try to gank him up. This guy's got so much money anyway. Can't cut his way out of the tree line. The bottle will arrive, but he gets shackled up through, in fact, the sprout to the back end trees.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that either. It's a free shackle, actually. A single target free shackle, which, again, if you could guarantee to land it, not too bad, man. Not too bad.
Because they needed to do this, man. Look at the CS of the Doombringer. It's 46 for 10 on a Doombringer, while he's actually still using the 4 points devour. So his net worth was skyrocketing above everybody else on CIS. They needed to bring him down. And there's another DD rune movement coming out from this Rubik. It just wears off though as he arrives to the top lane. But June has to back up. He has no other choice here.
Well, I think now that he's almost hitting level 6, he should be fine. But yeah, Doom is now coming in, but he is being scouted by Observer, so very well placed. So now he'll just walk it off. Yeah, but if they get the Doom on him, he's definitely dead. If the Doom did not come, they probably would not have had enough damage to get him.
But if he's going to back up like this, the tower would just be lost. Because they put the Tree Protector into the land bottom, so they're still finding the experience in the farm from down there. And Just Prophet can't really easily win a lane up against a Tree Protector, even if he does have the lowest net worth in everywhere. I love too, like they put the living armor on the melee creep that's currently taking the tower, just so they can bring down the tower, and there it is. So Weaver takes the last tip, some extra gold coming into Lin, who looks like he's actually bypassing the Lincoln Sphere and going straight into what looks to be like one Diasha.
Huh. Maybe just a power treads to start with. And then go back to Lincoln Sphere. Yeah, we're gonna say power treads. But he got to get banned of Elvis skin for better harass, I suppose. Okay. Since Gemini attack does double your damage essentially, and he wasn't too worried about survivability in that lane. But if you look at how CIS's lineup operate, it's actually fairly greedy. I mean, OD doesn't really do much. Lifeslayer obviously could do some mid-game stuff, but that predicates on you having a good start. And if you look at June, he just picked up his phase boots. We're 10 minutes into the game. So I also think that CIS has a very poor lineup of coming back. Obviously, there is 2 Animized Spire. You see 1 on Nature's Prophet. You see 1 on OD. That's great. But I feel that when LGD pushed in the next 5 to 10 minutes, these Midases are not at a stage where they have really brought you real income. And you're just on the back foot with a lineup that really can't counter push well, with a lineup that can't really team fight well. So I feel that if LGD could push fast and hard, that's a timing window they could really strike hard on CIS.
Yep. Well, they're already coming up, man. Smoke movement, Infest is inside of Demons, and AO's moving up towards that top lane. DDC's around the corner, there's an Observer Ward around here, and Demons, he's not fast enough to reach him with a jack shot, it will be enough. actually get in range. So Infest pops out. Did you see a lot of protection coming out from that living army? He'll still go down, but it bought time for a telekinesis hit. But they just proper TP'd and took the kill, and Lin just runs himself away to safety.
Here's the thing though, that was a 4-man kill on a Rubik. Like, okay. LGD's fine with that. A lot of...
Invoker just managed to pick up the Wind Ranger, Sunstrike up on the top lane.
Alright, nicely done. The Weaver threw out I think the Storm as well as Sakuchi and a couple more right clicks. And Wind Ranger actually took quite a bit of damage from that. The other thing I want to point out is that Invoker has actually a phase boot on Exort build. I normally do not advocate for this, and I think Yao understands that as well. The only reason he's actually go for phase this game is because OD constantly takes away his intelligence. So he just needs some base damage to actually trade right clicks and last it and deny. So normally it's actually a very bad build because the phase ability works very poorly with your low base movement speed, and you actually don't need the damage because Exort gives you so much anyways. But in this case, it's a very, very special case.
Yep.
Dyer's bottom tower
now being brought down by the Dream Protector. This guy's got a lot of experience now with that space they gave him on the bottom lane. Not to mention his farm. And with a haste stream being triggered by Doombringer, he's now going to fully bottle up and then also find the Invisor in the bottom lane. And Lin, I don't know how CIS is still meant to kill this Weaver off. Even when we get ourselves into the later portion of the game, what is their lockdown control over this Weaver?
They need either a Hex coming out from OD or just really good Shackles and a Blink Burrow Strike. I mean, there is still answers from CIS. The big problem is, as soon as they're farming for this answer, LGD is just not letting them.
Black's dead.
Yeah, Black is actually dead.
under attack.
Like,
well,
okay.
if he let the Terran Tower die, I think LGD will take that one as well.
With DD as well as DDC hanging in the tree lines, if Black basically walks past here, he is dead.
Middle tower
the thing is, again,
fallen.
CIS's lineup is so greedy. They need to win essentially every single lane. Unfortunately, they just haven't been able to do that. And obviously, Lin, he's just going to sit up here and keep on pressuring. I like the fact he's upgraded to a Ring of Aquila. I think he just had it for a while already, right?
And in flame. The Doom goes over on him, into the Leech Seed and the Sprout. Well, actually, it's going to be the Overgrowth. The Overgrowth being used up there. And then June, well, he just infests and hides inside of the SK. But this means the Demons can have to turn back into this, or else they're going to lose the tier 2 tower as well.
Yeah, I actually thought that they weren't going to push until like Rabbit's going to pick up his Vlads or the mech. But their lineup is just so much better at this stage of the game. You can see that Rabbit has gone a Midas himself. You know, Midas give you attack speed, right? Push some tier 2s quicker.
It's just capitalizing on their money. They're earning real money in this game. We're 14 minutes in, and already their advantage is stretching up about 7,000 gold. The experience, though, isn't really showing the same kind of thing. Obviously, it's a lot of towers going down in favor of LGD when they've lost also nothing. But you're getting these massive key items up. You got a 7k net worth Doombringer on the field.
Yep, and he has 2.7k goals not being spent just yet. I wonder if this is going to be your Shivas, your Blink Dagger coming out, or obviously going back to that mech that I've suggested. But finally, we see a real initiation item coming from Sand King, though he has skilled his hero in a fairly interesting way. Just level 3 Burrow Strike. Wanted that 3rd-point Sandstorm to farm a little bit quicker.
Actually, I saw this happening through the SEA qualifiers too, and North America I think did a little bit. It's when you basically say that, like, we think we can farm. Like, Dreamtime did that for them. Like, it was actually kind of stupid how much they let them do so, where both teams almost had this ceasefire agreement in the first 20 minutes. So when you do something like that, level 3 Sandstorm actually really helps you to get through the jungle a lot faster. So you just try and power level that way. But his jungle is under absolute siege. There were wards down by LGD, so there was little to no places he could move and stack and free farm. So yeah, I'm not sure about it in this game. I can understand why he does it in other games, but in this game, it's really, really rough. You should just have 4 points Burrow.
I mean, honestly, once he gets the Blink Dagger, the 3rd to 4th point...
Oh, wait. What was this? Epicenter? Oh. They pop the smoke. Actually, they get him. Maybe not. Living armor and time lapse will protect him through.
That's the thing, though. Like, you need to hit that shackle or he's not dying.
Yeah.
So it's just...
And now because of it, Infest is down, Epicenter is down.
That means tier 2 is dead. Like, if Weaver wants to join the fight, he can. He doesn't even have to because the rest of the team pushes so quickly. There's a Necro 1 coming in. And Blackmane, again, this is a hero that will be really good if you get a farm on him. But LGD just not letting them have that kind of reform room.
Because keeping him distracted too. June, if he wanted to TP into this middle lane of fight, he would have come in at half life. And Rubik also just managed to steal Sandy's Eclipse.
That's a mistake on Black's part. I mean, sure, if you see nobody in lane, you just actually disrupt yourself or banish yourself. You should never let Rubik take your ultimate. Now, he's not at a stage where he could actually do a ton of damage because his int is not comparatively that high. But actually, from Rubik, that just means AoE mana burn, which is actually not too bad. I'll take that.
Well, up against a lot like CISs, if drums weren't there on June, I'd say he's got a lot more troubles. But even in Flame, like in Flame Jump, and if he triggers his ultimate as well as like the Sprout and summoning the trees, he'll have nothing left to TP in and out with if he can hit it.
Yeah, and finally, I do want to point out that there is, in theory, split push ability coming out from CIS because you do have Nature's Prophet. The problem with that is that Nature's Prophet push by chip damage, and you have a Tree and Protector that is very well leveled, max living armor at this point.
Yeah.
Your chip damage does not mean jack squat because the next time the Tree and the Prophet sees his bottom tier 1 tower, it's going to be back full HP.
The only way Prophet could do it is if he gets his level 3 Necro. And then like it
just basically force down a tower in one go.
Yeah, but when you do that kind of stuff with the Nature's Prophet, you start summoning up your books to try and bring down towers, then you know you're not going to have them during the fight. So LG like, Necro books are down, they'll just run themselves in.
Yeah, the cooldown nerf is really real. You are very, very sad when you use those Necro books to push tower and not have it for the fight. But BKP's up for Rabbit, very interesting choice. But if you think about it, really where's the damage coming from once you're magically immune?
You take out Epicenter, you
Dire's structures
take out
are
OD, you take out, well, everything really.
Yeah, I mean, watch the right click, but he doesn't do anything. On the back line, it's gonna be Flame coming in, bringing the vehicle up the life zone. He gets sprouted though before this, as well as overgrowth. Of the June on June, and June is just straight up dead. They trade 1 for 2 because Prophet also died. Did they trade for he didn't get a single kill?
Nope. It was Doom killed Prophet, Invoker killed Prophet, that was Doom killed Lifesteal. They're the last 3 recorded kills.
Oh.
It was one of the... I was like, you're watching back engagement with the jump, and I was watching the front lines of it. I was like, oh, this Epicenter from Demons, how much work is that really going to do? But they can actually get 1 trade, it's going to be on DD. So, Sentry Wall, a little bit of Burrow Strike and the OD imprisonment to help set it all up. But that's a nothing to LGD right now. They still end up winning that fight with 2 kills against 2 kills.
Tower has been denied.
While Lin hasn't left top lane.
No.
In fact, his Lincoln Sphere is coming in on the courier at the moment.
He's just not dying anymore this game.
Yep.
I do want to say that earlier in this game, he was Sakuching forward to drop a very deep ward on the top. Normally, when you gank a Weaver in this position, like, you know, you just send your whole party and hopefully you have enough chain stun to kill him dead. But this ward will just give him the sight that he needs to survive.
That actually just got pinged out.
They don't see it though. The sentry is not in range.
The ping came from June though, because that was a pink ping, unless that was...
Maybe they're just pinging that Doom's top or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Bottom lane, there's initiation on DDC, and then Tree, well, they'll throw out the overgrowth. Invoker hits perfectly with a Sunstrike and Inflame, and Doombringer, he comes in with a Scorched Earth. Locked inside the tree line from the Sprout, which isn't the best position for him, because he wants to chase down someone else, especially with Wind Ranger TPing out. Level Death was off cooldown, but unable to reach her in time.
Even though that was a really bad trade, you traded Prophet for a support Rubik, I think CIS is happy to trade in any form they could get. As long as they're not just giving 2-0 kills like they did previously, they're okay.
Lin's gonna have a crack at June.
Yeah, I just think that LG at this point could just high ground. With things like Necro 3 available, with Doom picking up his, I imagine, a secondary item. He's got another 3k, yeah. So he could pick up, I don't know, a Vlad's or a mech, or obviously the mech is already finished on DD, so never mind that. Just maybe go for a Vlad's and go for the finishing push. Because I don't think CIS could defend.
I don't think they can either, man. The only other thing they could think about is Roshan, which is actually exactly where they're headed. They got Necro Books as well as Forward Spirits, and the Invoker just goes in. So with an Aegis Immortal behind them, if they actually get that over on Lin, did Lin actually buy a damage shielding item yet?
No.
No, he just put a TP scroll to fly out to him at the moment.
I don't think you give it to Lin, like, because he's not going to die anyways. I think you give it to somebody that's a little bit more valuable to the team. Maybe the Doom, because he's providing a 30% damage aura. In fact, they will give it to him. Shackle Shot not flying through. And Lin is going hard right now. Lin.
They're looking for any kind of opening. He does find Inflame, but Lin is still at a point where with 20 minutes in, he doesn't have a damage item. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because only 20 minutes in for a Weaver, who was technically running an off-lane role.
Yeah.
If he had DPS, then he'd be solving up so many people. Now, Demons are going to attempt a defense here. He's got the Epicenter available, the Prophet ulti has already been used, and the Mecha just got triggered by LGD. So Demons wants to try this, he cannot get spotted. He must stay inside the Fog of War here.
Oh, he carries some of the burst strike. No epicenter shot through. They're gonna go for DDC. Another great shot. Kill him! They're gonna get the kill. Where's Matt coming from Adrian?
It was used. It was used when they pushed high ground before.
And BKB is down for Rabbit, so here comes the epicenter if they want to do so. Demon comes again, but he's gonna get brought down so very quickly. Doom going on the front line, but it's actually over.
Black has ulti.
Yeah, Black is dealing out a ton of damage. Great deny coming out from CIS. They are on the losing end, but they're making them plays. I'm just not sure whether the play could actually outdo the 10k, 12k goal advantage that LGD has. And it looks like it will not.
It can't. It can't. OD was sitting there most of the time just being doomed up, so he was unable to do anything at the start of the fight. There was no improvements, there was no big intel advantage coming his way. Keep hearing Sunstrikes going around. That one was looking for the win ranger. But LGD got where they came from. It definitely wasn't clean. And I'm surprised that CIS didn't commit fully, like at the very, very start then with the epicenter to try and cause some kind of chaos for LGD.
Right.
But it's like they just wanted a quick pick off, all back, and then just try and find another one. But the second SK came back out again, he got killed so quickly. That was like, what, 3 hits?
I'm surprised that on the second initiation, the epicenter didn't come out then, because you already forced out the mech. The BKB was down on Doom. That sounded like the best opportunity to go. I understand not going in first, because those 2 items I just mentioned will just essentially nullify anything you were going to do in that team fight. So I felt like CIS, though, still really outplayed LGD in that particular engagement. And let's see if they could keep making those. I think
it's going to be harder, man. Like, Rabbit just picked himself up a Shiva's guard. Like, how are you really supposed to start battling up against this LGD lineup? Like, no matter how many outplays you go for, you're still going to get caught out. Now, Lin, he just used his time lapse. Dust will pop from Inflame, but he doesn't get the Sprout off.
Inflame kept canceling his Sprout animation. Maybe he was getting fog or something, but
he kept getting turned around.
Yeah.
Because you still got to face the direction you Sprout.
Well, the problem also is if you click on the Reaver to cast your Sprout, the Lincoln will just block it. So essentially, you had to click on the ground. And trying to predict that against a max movement speed Weaver is very, very difficult. Yeah. So I don't fault him too much for missing that one.
Oh, a lot of movement coming to bottom lane. So 4 heroes, well basically 5 heroes, sorry, grouping up. And CIS, they're attempting the trade-off here. Now Blackie does have a TP scroll to come back here. Inflame obviously can TP himself, but they don't have any kind of profit ulti. Demons is trying to hide inside tree line, with the Necro units going in there to chase him. He has to actually use to get himself away from the Necro unit.
So that's 5 seconds. Glib's gonna get forced out. They are gonna get a Necro book kill. That's nice. Experience, and Rabbit is just standing on the front line here. Doom goes onto June, Overgrove on top of him, and look at his HP just getting chunked down by the Weaver. The Knight comes out from the Wind Ranger, which is cute and nice, but it's a team that's going to be dying. Here comes the buyback from Lifestealer, but are they out of gas? And I think the answer is yes. They need the epicenter, and they don't have the epicenter.
If they lose one more core right now, they're probably even just going to call it. And June, he comes to front lines. He's going to have a crack here at DD, living on to protect him, and look at Len. The Bugs flying out are under attack. Negative armor coming the way, and June, he's getting ripped down. Odie will drop the ult, but the only one that got is the tree. Lifestealer will die in the back end of play, and there goes Nature's Prophet as well. They're just ripping through him. This is over. There's no one left for LGD to defend their base. And game number 1, we are 24-25 in. One last epicenter for a hoorah, but that is it. 15-8. LGD, the quickest game we've had all day.
Yeah, LG says I could pick a lineup that could win late because we have guaranteed carries like Weaver, Doom, as well as Invoker. But if you're going to give us a 4K advantage, we're going to just run away with it. Yeah,
man, it was too easy for LGD at the end of the day. CIS, see how they go. Game number 2 coming up shortly. Of course, there's a full best of 5. LGD are 1 game up, so stay tuned and we'll be back with game number 2.